Hello, everyone. It's Candice Valdez from the American Board of Hypnotherapy, the American Board of NLP, and Timeline Therapy Association. I'm so excited to introduce April Chavez, who's going to be one of our speakers at the upcoming ABH conference in September. So April has been studying hypnosis since 2013 and became a certified hypnotherapist through the American Board of Hypnotherapy. She has been actively working with clients utilizing these practices since then. Through her work with Driven Living LLC, she offers educational platforms, self-improvement programs, and community building focus on empowering individuals and contributing to the evolution of human consciousness. She is also the host of Wellness Driven Life Show. Let's welcome April.
Thank you so much.
Hello. Is it good morning, April?
It's good mid-morning going into the afternoon for us here. Yes, thank you.
How is your day so far?
It's fabulous.
Oh, amazing. That's amazing. So, so we can get to know you a little bit more. Tell us a bit about yourself and how you got started in hypnosis and what made you, or what were you doing before, prior to this, and what made you get into personal development?
Thank you, Candace. I've worn many hats, so I've had the pleasure and honor of being able to dive into so many different backgrounds. I am former law enforcement. I have been really engulfed in being a mother of three beautiful daughters. And I think those of us who are parents know the extent of that and all the experience that you get from being a parent alone, right?
Yes.
I grew up with an autoimmune disease, so that really projected my interest in wanting to know more about our health, our well-being, all of those intricate details of why we perform and are the way that we are. And hypnotherapy came to the forefront because it was when I started realizing different patterns in life of flare-ups with my dis-ease. And a lot of it stemmed from me having some sort of traumatic event, and then, like, 6 months later, I'd get that flare up, and so that was when there was that interrelation between the mental aspects of how I was thinking and feeling, and then it just responded throughout my body, and so I wanted to learn a little bit more about why that was, what I can do to start shifting those a little bit in order to just have some preventative measures for my own health and well-being.
Awesome. And you're doing well today, right?
I'm doing really well today. I am very, very blessed. I still have lupus markers, but it's being managed really well. And it's because of all of those tools and techniques that I have that I continue to learn. It's that ongoing process, as we all know. And yes, thank you. Doing very, very well.
Amazing, amazing. So, what inspired you to bring hypnosis into the virtual space, I guess back in 2013?
Oh my goodness. Well, my first experience with hypnosis was when I was in law enforcement. And I wanted to find out some ways to, like I said, really reach deeper into certain traumas that I was facing and not only my own personal traumas, but the ones that continue to arise when you're in career fields like that. Anybody who steps into a first responder field is really faced with tragic events very commonly, often day in, day out, right? And in law enforcement, you're dealing with the worst of the worst, and there's a lot of bad guys out there. And so, not only are you picking up on, the things that are just happening commonly, but you're picking up on so much of those energies that you really don't want to be around. And so, what are some of the best ways to rid yourself of those, right? How do you start retraining the mind? And so, I visited an in office hypnotherapist, and Candace, do you know what he said to me?
Mm.
He said, because you're a police officer, this isn't going to work on you. And he said that because he said police officers are too they're too skeptical. They just don't believe, and so there's no way I'm going to be able to do anything for you. And I was so shocked and appalled, and that actually, as it would for many people, um, took me back many steps with even the thought of wanting to investigate it further. And because the experience wasn't good for me, because if you tell somebody that, what's going to happen? Well, they're going to start believing that they that this isn't going to work, right? And
Right.
so we know that as practitioners. And so, but that was a really good example for me too, because I started to learn how powerful the brain is, regardless if it's positive or negative. But when we tell people that, doctors, police officers, practitioners in any field, right? They are the people who are uh, the experts. And so when we seek out their knowledge and their experience, we believe them more so than anyone else, right? Because they're supposed to be the experts. And so that really kickstarted my experience with that. Now, when we start talking about the digital aspects during that time, I also was really engulfing myself in just just audible aspects of retraining the mind, affirmations, meditations, even as far as audiobooks, all of those things that really come to us in
Mhm.
that audio aspect, in that digital format. And then, of course, fast forward going into the COVID timeline era where we were all subject to needing to connect and experience each other in this digital interface.
Right. So are you still in law enforcement or you
No,
no, not at all.
no, no, that's my former life. And so now what I get to do is I feel I'm making such an incredible impact in a different regard. The beautiful thing about going into the digital format is you get to expose yourself on a global aspect. And so while boots on the ground is extremely important, and the people who are in those career fields are doing incredible impact and wonderful things. And so I'm just serving in a different light.
Exactly, exactly. So what makes hypnosis via platforms like Zoom just as powerful, if not more?
Mm. I love having this platform and being able to engage and interact with each other in this way. I think that when we are able to be in our comfort zone, it brings a different sort of relax, right, to the subject, to us. As the practitioner and also as the client, you have this sense of well-being, of safety, of security when you're creating your own space, when you're used to it, familiar with it. And I think that gives us permission also to continue to do so and utilize that space for what it is that we're trying to create. And so, what I mean by that is, let's take our couch, for instance, right? It's oftentimes we utilize that couch to maybe read, but more often than not, watch TV, right? And so it's a position that we are taking in information on a continual basis. And when we start using that space for something like reprogramming our minds intentionally for the habits that we want to create and present in the world, and how we want to show up, it just helps solidify using that space for something different. And again, it's going to be that continuous process that we want to keep doing.
Right, true. So what unique opportunities does digital delivery offer to our modern practitioners?
What I love about it, Candace, is the opportunity to pause, to be able to take breaks, go get a drink. And if you need a longer break than that, it's being able to pause, recollect, and come back to it at any time. And so I think that that's a really vital aspect that it offers us. When we have brick and mortar, it's a great thing as well. But as many people know, when we go into a deep, relaxed state, we're kind of in balance. We're kind of off gear. So if you have to leave that office and get into your car and drive home or whatever, you're still in kind of a awkward state of being, and it's not always safe. And so what I love about having this virtual aspect is that we get to have more time to just sit with ourselves
Mm-hmm.
and recollect and come back to the present moment.
Great. Can you share with us how do you maintain presence and a connection in a virtual setting session?
Mm, I think just with anything else, it's really listening. And when we engulf ourselves into that person and we're taking that time to really listen to what they're saying and have those pause to be able to understand what it is that they're saying, that's what being present is all about. And maybe it's that you're not concentrating on all other things and you really are just here. Me as a talk show host, that's a key element to being able to interview others is by always listening. And so maybe I'm at an advantage with that
Right?
because it's something that you've had to really train yourself to be able to do. And you're looking at a camera, not necessarily the person, although when you have a client session like that, you are looking at them. But in order for them to be feel like they're being seen and heard too, let's just give an example. Like right now I'm looking at my camera and I'm not looking at you, because you feel and the audience feels as if I'm looking directly at you and I'm speaking directly with you. And so it's just an example of you being, or feeling like you're being seen and heard and listened to, and that's bringing us all to this present with each other.
I do. I feel like you're just talking directly at me,
Yeah.
and yeah, I do feel that. What are your go-to tools or tech tips for running a successful digital hypnosis practice?
Oh my gosh, I have so many. And AI is definitely one of those tools that I go to. And the reason is because when I listen to my client and I hear all of the things, all of the intricate details that they're giving me, AI helps me just create something very quickly that can stem around their experience. And so it's very personalized.
Interesting. AI is the thing now, and
It's so
I'm
big.
learning. Yes, I'm learning it too.
I'm going to be explaining a lot more of that in detail during the conference.
Awesome. What common fears do coaches have about virtual work, and how can they overcome it?
Oh, Candace, I think we all have fears around virtual work. And the reason is because it's so fast paced and there's so much. There's just too many options, right? And what a blessing it is to have so many options. I think there's so many tools and techniques nowadays, but it's easy to get overwhelmed. My suggestion is to just start digging in, just start playing around. And I think that that ABCs, right? Always be curious. And I think that curiosity really can give us that oomph and that drive to be excited about it and to want to dig in and to learn a little bit more, and just do a little bit of that every single day or once a week or however often that makes sense for you and your schedule, but just dive right in.
Amazing. What client outcomes have you seen that validate digital delivery?
Mm, I have so many, but I I would say that one of the ones that comes to mind is this gentleman that I had, and he just got so excited about the transformation that he was having. It's within the follow-up too, of course, because you get to see the magic unfold in real life. And so it's hearing the experiences or all of the things that have happened that we created in session. And again, going back to just allowing that time of pause and reflection, being able to come back to something. So, for instance, when I'm, many of us we're taking a lot of notes. We're starting to understand the client, and we want to be able to understand them so we can serve them best, right? So we can embed the best sort of things that they want to create in their life. And being able to pause for that moment to just recollect, get some water, get situated is very helpful so that I have all the tools that I need for when the session gets started.
Cool. How do you structure online sessions to keep engagement and trance depth high?
Oh, well, again, it's just creating that space, I would say, within your own home and the comfort of that. And just knowing the clients, letting the clients know that they have everything that they need right there. And they're in that safe space. So going back to the is really a great platform in order to bring that to them is very powerful.
What boundaries and ethics are crucial for online hypnosis work?
Well, as we know, we always want to make sure that they feel like they have that not only the safety and security, but that everything is in their best interest and that it's safe with you. So having that in your practice is essential and key. Being able to create that platform for them, or not create it, but utilizing the right platforms where nothing is exposed or leaked. And there's a lot of those that, like Zoom, for instance, we're using this. It's a safe and more secure platform to be able to utilize. And when your clients understand that, then they feel more at ease.
Nice. What tips do you have for coaches launching their first virtual program? Like for
Uh,
beginners?
well, as with anything, just take it slow and easy. Uh, it's it's such an exciting time again, and learn your tools before you get started. So, and run through it a few times with friends or family. I think that's really the best practice is to continue practicing doing it and know that have to start to get started, right?
Yeah,
But that training is really key, and you'll feel more confident.
right. Yeah, it took me a while when, after COVID and getting used to this digital thing and learning Zoom and all these other platforms. It was overwhelming, and I would just practice with my son or a friend, and how to
Yes.
record and how to do this. And it was a challenge, but like you said, we got to start. You just start and start slowly. Yeah, that really helped me too. So regarding the wellness driven life show, how does that support your mission?
Ah, it supports my mission by intricating or interweaving, I should say, all of the aspects of rewiring our brains so often with what I say as a host, and also where I'm guiding and leading my guests to share their experiences with our audience. I love being able to share that with the audience because to me, it's such a huge piece of how we evolve as a species. And so, although I have guests from many different backgrounds and many different fields, it's easy to be able to bring them to certain circumstances in life that have happened where they are, in fact, rewiring, retraining, and so it's being able to interweave all of that into the really key aspect of us being spiritual energetic beings, of the brain and how we can rewire it, how the body is a robot controlled by the mind and all of the different techniques that we can utilize for that.
So share with us the wellness-driven life show. How often are you going live, or is it pre-recorded? How can people watch you or see you?
Thank you for asking. Each Wednesday, we're uploading a new episode with a new guest, fresh perspectives. And right now, we're doing something for the first time, and we have a series going on that's lasting about 2 months. And that series is in regards to childhood trauma and healing. The healing is key there because, as we know, we all face different trials, tribulations, traumas in life, and they will come to pass, right? It's what do we do afterwards? And so it concentrates on that. We have expert guests on that. But yes, the show is once a week, every Wednesday, and it's been ongoing for 2.5 years now. In the
Amazing.
beginning, it was going live Monday through Friday. So the first year and a half was 5 days a week.
Wow. Okay, so it's every Wednesday at what time? Is it Pacific time, or what time do you go live?
3:45 p.m. Central.
Central time. Okay. So what do you see as the future of hypnosis in the tech-enabled age?
Oh my goodness. Well, the sky's the limit, right? And at the rapid pace, the future is faster than you think, right? I can't recall who wrote that book, but it certainly is. And I mean, we have moved from 3D to 4D to all of these crazy aspects. And so, what I imagine is it's just going to get more um, feeling like it's real. Our minds are very powerful and we can imagine things to such incredible depth, but I imagine that it can be right in front of us with eyes open, all of the things that we're creating, imagining, projecting, and so I'm pretty excited to see what it is that we come up with, but I think again the sky is the limit.
Exactly. So at the conference in September, you're speaking on hypnosis in the digital age, reaching a wider audience through virtual platforms. Can you just kind of let our viewers know a little bit more of what you're gonna be talking about and what they're gonna get from your talk?
Candace, I'm excited to share a little bit more in depth of what tools and techniques we get to use. And again, there's so many, right? So it's kind of a pick and choose. It's exploring all of the different things, but I'll give you some insight on some of the things that I have found and I like to utilize in order to really get a more in-depth aspect of the clients, of yourself, and it's going to be very exciting. I think that a lot of minds are going to be intrigued.
Thank you so much, April. Thank you so much for your time and your valuable information you shared with us. And to all of our viewers, if you haven't registered for the ABH Hypnosis Conference, which is September 12th and 13th, April's going to be speaking on hypnosis in the digital age, reaching a wider audience through virtual platforms. You don't want to miss this one. Again, April, thank you so much for your time, and we'll see you soon again.
My pleasure.
Thank you.